How you doing?
Please help
Good,
me read.
good.
I hope you're doing well.
Perfect. Thanks.
He doing all right. He doing all right. There's a lot of mixed feelings coming into this reaction right now. But let's see what happens, bro. Let's see.
You listen to me before.
Now, before you pull a Galactus and stretch fuck strong me until my aging body splits in half, let me start by saying, you're right, I should love this movie. Fantastic Four First Steps avoids so many of the usual pitfalls and commits to doing all the things I'm always begging Marvel to do like a hungry dog.
I wouldn't know what to do with one if I caught it.
The movie looks fucking great, genuinely. Matt Shackman and cinematographer Jess Hall commit to crafting a world and visual style that is seldomly unpleasant to look at, that is full of beautiful production design, some of my favorite superhero costumes ever, and iconography that feels revolutionary compared to the usual slop we've been fed in this multiverse prison they've had us locked up in. Please, Kevin, let me go, please.
No, it can feel like that. It has been feeling like that for a couple of the projects, but we gotta see it through, bro. That Doomsday, Secret Wars, we gotta see the final piece to the puzzle of this whole multiverse thing going on, this whole multiverse saga. We gotta see it through, bro.
I should love this movie. I really like the cast. We've reached the point where I'm so sick of seeing Pedro Pascal in literally everything, but it's not his fault that he's fucking talented. I just need the man to take a break. But the point is, I was pleasantly surprised by how hard he commits and how seriously he treats Reed Richards. One might assume he was doing this for the paycheck and could sleepwalk through a half-baked performance, but nah, dude, he shows up, creating a stretchy super genius that feels plagued by his intelligence. Same can be said for my boy, my cousin.
Snyder Cut motherfuckers want to get on a line now?
Giving Ben tragic charm that I felt very connected to throughout the movie. I should really love this movie. They let the human moments play out, prioritizing emotion over action, which I've said time and time again is the key to making a huge superhero spectacle work. Once more, I should really love this movie. But I hate to say, there's something missing. And you know, maybe what's missing about Fantastic Four First Steps is something missing within me. There's a lot missing in here. Maybe outside of the Tim Story Fantastic Four movies and the occasional Spidey crossover comic, I never really connected with Marvel's first family. I never felt the need to dive into their comics in the same way I did with Batman, Superman, Spidey, Daredevil. I don't have any cheesy old videotape B-roll to cut back to of me saying it's clobbering time, or any emotional story about learning to read and see through the art of Jack Kirby.
Sure, I think that's one part of why I feel like something missing with this film. Initially because Fantastic Four, you know, they're great. You know, great characters, great story, great everything. But it's not Spider-Man. It's not the Hulk. It's not Black Panther. It's just something about those characters that, like, you know, it's just a connection thing. Maybe I feel like Iron Man is probably one of the characters that kind of got through that door of being just a household name, but it's hard to do. You know, not everybody can do it.
If I did, I would have felt more. Truth is, I wanted to feel more. I kept saying to myself again and again, man, I'm enjoying this. This is cool. This looks cool. This looks really cool. It's fun. But I also kept asking myself, why am I not really feeling anything? Why am I not caring as much as the movie, the narrative is believing I am?
And I say he's not gonna get a damn thing unless he does exactly what I tell him and starts treating my friends and me with some respect.
Could very well be my lack of emotional investment in the source material. Or it could be the fact that the film itself assumes we will be invested from the start without feeling the need to work for it, and instead feeling the need to cut out the moments that would create people, human beings beyond the archetypes. This movie and Superman have eerily similar narrative points, and also eerily similar problems.
34B, 98Z, 88, 4014!
Superman moves too fast cast. I said that in my video. Superman needed a few more moments of Clark just chilling, Clark out of the action and exposition, and so does Fantastic Four. The difference to me is that with Superman, the narrative revolves around showing the world, not just the fictional world of DC, but our world, why we care about Superman, why he's the first, why he's arguably the greatest, why he does not and never has needed to be reinvented, only translated. Clark's personal journey in that film was discovering that his heroism is not some pre-mandated destiny, some biblical scripture that states he will be our savior, but instead it was him making an all too human choice, the same one he makes every day, a choice to be kind, to care. And with Fantastic Four, just like in Superman, we are dropped right into this beautifully timeless alternate reality where the Fantastic Four are already heroes.
We love you. You're the Fantastic Four.
Great, I love that on paper, but at the same time, I found myself questioning the why of it all.
What are you doing?
Why are they heroes? I don't need to see their first battle, don't get me wrong. I don't need to see their transformations. I just wanted to feel and understand what made them tick. What defined their heroism? What made them want to protect their world? Is it a calling, a choice, or a burden? They have the great power, the great intellect, so is it their responsibility to become a superhero team that dedicates itself to protecting us, protecting the world? I needed to see that explored more. We are dropped right into the movie when Sue finds out she's pregnant. That's a cool place to start, honestly. But if I'm being honest, I never once felt that spark, that romance. Vanessa Kirby and Pedro are great, but like with most of the character dynamics in the movie, I felt that their love was undercooked, like Johnny taking the heat off the sauce too early. Their love did not feel entirely earned, even if they say it to each other, even if they passionately argue with one another. I don't feel that connection in the way I should. Once again, a similar gripe some people have with Superman. You don't see Lois and Clark fall in love. The foundational comic book couple are already dating when the movie starts. The difference is, to me, Lois Lane had her own set of flaws. And on a metatextual level, she realizes she loves a traditional, ultra dorky, insanely sincere Superman alongside us. She's not only a well-written character in her own right, but also a perfect audience character. And Sue, on paper, is trying to serve a similar role. She brings out the emotion in Reed. She forces him to express his ideology out loud so we, the audience, can hear it. The difference to me is that Sue is almost too perfect. Through montage within the first
see, he is cooking right there. I would say, the difference is when it comes to the love aspect between the two, Sue and Reed Richards, is it's like them being the leaders of the team. It's like you don't really get too many moments to where, you know, they're going back and forth debating what's right. You do, but it's not a lot. Like he said, it's a little bit too perfect. Like, it's like, you know, any problem they had, you know, in relationship, because, you know, all relationships have those, it's like they already, you know, got through them, and then the only real problem they have now is taking care of their child and superhero stuff.
It's the film, we come to realize that she's not only super intelligent, super well-tempered and empathetic, but has used all of those perfect character traits to unify most of the global powers, create a future foundation, a united nations without any conflict. Her character doesn't need to grow or change or really learn anything because she's so damn wonderful at the start. She has to give birth, protect her baby, her family, and keep the peace while saving the world, and she manages to do it all.
As a family.
Spoiler alert, besides the CG baby Franklin Frankenstein looking uncannier than Cavill's upper lip.
Do you bleed?
For some reason, I could not care less if Sue died, and that sucks. I remember sitting there in the theater, my mind wandering instead of feeling any kind of emotion and actively questioning why. Despite the actors giving it the score swelling, I was so unfeeling. The big emotional moment of the film fell completely flat for me. And I swear to God, this isn't a bit, I'm not trying to be an asshole. When that moment was happening, I was literally thinking to myself, damn, I really hope that Ben and Natasha Lyonne's character, what was her name again, Rachel, get another scene, because that relationship actually made me feel something.
True.
Okay.
No, they did have a little scene, I believe. If I remember right. They had a little scene, maybe either before that or after. But yeah, I see what he's saying though. That whole part where it seemed like she was about to die, which obviously she wasn't gonna die. Fell short because of course you knew she wasn't, and also because like you didn't get enough from the character to be attached like that. Just off one film, it doesn't work like that. It's like in the Superman movie, if Lois Lane would have died, you wouldn't really feel too, bad about it. More so for her character, but for Superman. Which that probably isn't the greatest example, but as a first film, it takes time to be emotionally invested into a character to where something like that will happen. You'll be like, oh no, so yeah, it kind of just felt flat.
Like I said, man, maybe it's a me thing. I'm a dumb fuck. Or maybe I can feel that Matt Shakman probably did not get final cut over his movie. When asked about the possibility of a director's cut, he had this to say. Shakman admits that the final film went through a lot of changes, and the end result is a solid 2-hour runtime, no bathroom breaks needed. When asked if fans will ever get to see a director's cut version with Red Ghost, and by the way, the fact they cut John Malkovich, I mean, what else did they cut? He quickly, unequivocally shut the notion down.
Remember that. He was supposed to be in the film.
So many visual effects involved that those scenes remain unfinished, so that's not possible, he says. There are so many insanely baffling editing choices to me, so much footage that was in the trailers that is not in the film.
Yes.
I feel like they took apart this movie and put it back together again and again like a jigsaw puzzle you obsess over, but end up losing too many pieces in the process of trying to make it all fit.
Ages 6 and up. You are up, Winston. You are way up.
You want to say that to my face?
The sense of time, pace, felt off to me. I have no idea how long this takes place over, because one second we will be in space and the next second they are saying it took a month for the Fantastic Four to return home after that dope scene of interstellar black hole twirling lava surfing. It moves insanely fast, but I don't know if that...
Hey, but that space scene was heat though. I'm not gonna lie. Them seeing Galactus and meeting up with him, seeing what the problem was, pulling up like they did and everything, and then having to escape, that was really dope. That space scene, low-key, was better than some of the stuff Guardians of the Galaxy.
For the sake of having more action, because there isn't all that much action in general. It's meant to feel like an end of the world disaster movie, but I never really gave a damn about the world outside of its aesthetic, because the world the Fantastic Four are living in is depicted as conflictless from the opening seconds of the film.
And it's like, it's just too perfect, man. It just seemed like too perfect, and it's like, take you as Spider-Man, right? And of course, he's not a part of a team of 4 different, characters with special abilities, but still, he's still Spider-Man. And if he can't, get it all together in his city, doing his thing, and solve every problem, it doesn't matter how smart Reed Richards is. We've seen Tony Stark still go through problems trying to make the world better through his technology and everything. So it's kind of unbelievable to see here in this film Reed Richards, even though he's smartest man ever, do the same thing. Like, there's one part in the film where they say when Franklin was born, him being a father, he wanted to make sure all crimes and anything unsafe within the city was taken care of. It's like he baby-proofed the entire city, for his child. And it's like, so is that easy? Like, you guys have that much power? And even though I guess that could be what it is, it's like, it's just, I don't know, it just makes you feel like, what they're doing is just something to do and not like something they love. I guess you could say. But maybe he can explain it better. So let's see.
This is an alternate reality where every single soul on the planet is seemingly kind of great. Everyone just immediately listens to the Fantastic Four when they say they need to introduce worldwide mandatory electricity curfews.
My doctor would not let me wear masks. You guys are violating federal law. You get that?
Will protect you.
Everyone in the end trusts
Yeah, no. And if New York's not doing that, doesn't matter what universe, whatever. If New York's not doing that, I'm not just gonna agree to these heroes because they protect, and solve problems here and there, as superheroes, which of course makes sense. They don't do it for Spider-Man. Why would they do it for them? Like, not everybody likes Spider-Man in New York, even though Spider-Man is literally, like, most of the time their only hope. Like how it is with Captain America. I'm pretty sure Captain America should have that much power to make decisions like that, right? But he didn't. So yeah, it just doesn't feel right here. Like, yeah, they're Fantastic Four and everything, but they got that much clout. They got that much power.
Four knows best that they are these infallible heroes that every single nation, global power in the world will come together to support. It's all hunky-dory.
They are the very best of us. They are.
Two guys, a girl, and the thing that nobody wanted.
Hell no.
And I don't mind that innately in premise, but it's almost like the Four never really have to emotionally justify why they are loved, trusted, relied upon. The only emotional conflict or consequence any of these characters face in the film lasts about 15 minutes, if that. Ben turns on the television, sees the world is mad at them for not giving up baby Franklin, goes outside to get some groceries, gets heckled by two goons, goes back inside, turns back on the TV, sees the world is still mad at them. Sue decides to break the TV, go outside, her baby in hand, and you would think there would be some kind of public backlash. One person would try to snag the baby, some kind of suspense or tangible intensity, but I felt none of that.
Don't do drugs.
She gives a lengthy speech about how selfless the
They threw a soda can at Superman just because they heard, on a video that he was supposed to be this being that takes over the earth instead of, saving the earth, being a hero to the earth. Just off a video. It should have been more of that type of thing in this movie. It was like, I don't know. Again, I don't know. It's just not believable.
Really are, and how the entire world is one big family.
As a family.
A few head nods, a few claps, and the conflict is over? It's all back to being hunky fucking dory.
As a family.
And don't get me wrong, man, the speech is delivered with this heartfelt sincerity. Kirby brings it, but I don't think the moment is earned in the slightest. It's not like the team has been under fire from the public the entire film, or frankly, ever before. This is the first, seemingly only time the public has ever questioned them, and we see that questioning and outrage for approximately 10 minutes.
Sort of question them to go against them. Like, bro, Galactus is about to pull up and destroy all of us because of y'all, baby. Come on now, like, they should have showed that.
Before it's resolved. And yeah, you can be moved by her words, her performance, but to believe that the world, even if it's an alternate one, would get on board, be entirely agreeing and empathetic so quickly, so unanimously, feels like the writers trying to wrap up the actual interesting conflict so that the Four can have their big CG battle with the villain.
It's clobbering time!
And that fucking sucks. These guys don't really have any character arcs or struggle, and what little we get is great. My favorite scene in the film is the one where Reed confesses to Sue that it kind of sucks being the smartest man, and it's kind of terrible to be as cynical as he is. It's kind of fucking awful that he has to and would even consider giving up his son. That mentality not only terrifies Sue, but torments Reed. That moment is not only executed with more grace and subtlety, not only gives the character some much needed breathing room, but it's one of the few moments in the entire fucking movie that showcases the pain of their power and the weight of that responsibility.
Yes, like you said, That's one of the main scenes that I definitely remember. You know, just being as impactful in the movie. That moment right there, them, you know, having that not argument, but just disagreement, and her knowing that like he thought of that, you know, giving up Franklin, baby Franklin, was an option. Her knowing that he thought about that, and him confessing it. Those are the moments that I think this movie really need more of. The fact that Reed Richards like just says it, that it's hard to be the smartest man. Sometimes it's a curse at times, even though it can bless the whole city, it can bless the whole world at times. It's not always a blessing to him. Them just being at conflict, trying to make the best decision, trying to do the best they can. Kind of like when an Avengers team was going at each other, Thor and everybody in that one room, just all crashing out on each other. That's what I feel like this movie definitely needed.
I needed to see more of that internal conflict for each member of the four, rather than just a few select scenes. That sucks, because I actually gave a fuck about that. It feels like they needed a movie under 2 hours because audiences are sick of long superhero movies, not because the narrative was written to be that brief.
And I'm so tired of that, bro. Like, we've seen what the Batman did. And no, I'm not saying everybody, you know, every character, every film, superhero film can do that. But there's some films that probably need that. Probably need that extra hour, extra 30 minutes, whatever it is, extra 5, just to, you know, sum all of the story up and give it its moment. I feel like this movie could have had that. I think
offers here, it ain't the look, it ain't the vibe, it ain't.
I hate saying that for sure, because I know these films are not easy to make. The directors, they're probably under so much pressure. Kevin Feige, James Gunn, under so much pressure to give, you know, superhero lovers and film lovers that in-game feeling, that, you know, close to that. They want that every time. And it sucks that we had to look at the box office, or we have to nitpick sometimes. It's not fair. But I don't know. It's just a tough situation. No.
Design, it's the heart. The four, they talk a lot about being a family, but outside of some lovely yet brief moments of human connection, most of the team is busy explaining the science of how to stop a world eater, decoding the language of a Silver Surfer, and worrying about if their newest member of the family is going to be a hungry god. And of course there's some fun banter inside that, and not even the typical shitty Marvel banter, but some genuinely good banter inside those moments. But the banter is not enough for me.
What are you doing?
I'm sad we let the Thunderbolts fail at the box office, because that was the Marvel movie that took way more risks, that felt way more fresh, real, and nailed the idea of found and chosen family.
Like I just said, y'all, that movie, you know, I think it was a lot released in that movie, as far as the emotion, just a bunch of characters who you wouldn't think we would even care about to have moments, emotional moments that it did in the movie, but they were there, and I think a lot of people should have paid more attention. I know, you know, there's nobody in this group other than Winter Soldier that we really should care about to want to go to the movies and see about and care. But we could have given more of a chance.
Be poppier, more aesthetically different than what we are used to, but behind the genuinely fun and impressive retro futurism, you are left with a movie that nearly falls into every Marvel narrative trap. An underwhelming final battle with a villain that has a wonderful introduction earlier in the movie, only to end up stomping around destroying a grayscale city before getting stopped by the superhero team. Is it visually cool to see a comic accurate Galactus shot with scale?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, it is, dude. But he's massively undercooked.
Okay, undercooked. I wouldn't say that. When it comes to great characters and villains, or whatever you want to say, like this is, you know they're gonna take up so much of whatever scene they're in. So it is hard to say just how long the scene should take, how much could happen in a scene when it comes to a character so big and so impactful. But at the end of the day, I don't think this is the last time we see like this anyway. It would have been horrible if say he died in some type of way. Now that would have been like some Kang, Ant-Man, Quantumania stuff at the end. That would have been horrible, which I'm glad they didn't do. I don't think they would have done, but yeah, I don't think undercooked is the best word. I just think maybe Galactus is so great and such a big character, and it's great to see him actually being comic accurate, which was just great to see, and we just wanted to see more.
I only wish this movie gave us the time and the respect to justify that pre-earned reverence and love instead of banking on the fact we already do. I'm not mad at this movie. Despite the passionate voiceover, I'm really not that mad. The only thing I'm mad at is the fact that they could have been making all of these movies look this fucking good and this aesthetically cared for all along, because Jesus Christ, what have we been doing here, guys? But seriously, the point...
He do got a point. Visually, this is one of the best films Marvel has put out in a long time. They really wanted to visually make this a banger, which he did. But yeah, he's cooking.
I had a good time. I'd see it again. Maybe I'd like it more if I saw it again, but I can't say that I'm not disappointed. I fully believe Matt Shakman created a really good 2-hour and 30-minute Fantastic Four movie where the first family had intimate moments of being just that, a family. I fully believe that once some deleted scenes start popping up, everyone on the social media feeds will be yapping same way as me about how the movie would have been so much better if they kept those in. We've seen this happen time and time again with a Marvel movie, and I bet that...
Yeah, I feel like at this point Marvel should have trust in their films more to, like, some deleted scenes or whatever, like some parts they think will affect the runtime or whatever they think won't happen. Like, we still trust Marvel enough to do so, like to give us whatever they put out, whether it's 3 hours, whatever it is, that it will still be good, because we just want to see more projects and more, installments into the big world of the MCU.
That it happened to this one. But movies, they ain't bets, and narratives are not what ifs. To be honest, I'd rather have not liked any of the movie than to have loved a good portion of it. Because, it's easy to hate. It's easy to fucking come on here and be an asshole and just rant. But it's hard to love. It's hard to articulate that love. And it's even harder to articulate the in-between. My disappointment comes from the fact that I can see the love, I can feel the fire, the passion, but I can also see the cutting room floor where that fire was snipped down into something a whole lot dimmer. What remains is something that's not, that almost is, that should have been fantastic.
That boy cooking right there. But yeah, I definitely agree with, at the end of the day, this movie was great. I definitely want to see more of these characters and other films, their own sequel and everything. You just can't help but wonder how fantastic it really could have been if they just let it all out there. I think some films just need that unique touch to them to be fully maxed out to their potential. Just taking more risk overall. I think Marvel should just take more risk overall to really see what can work, what they can grow with. But yeah, that's the end of this reaction though. I know these reactions should have been out, but just bear with me, y'all. I'm gonna have these out as soon as possible, and more reactions on the way for sure. I love y'all. See y'all in the next one.